Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. I want to thank the people here at the local scene for sharing this information with you. This is about Plymouth County real estate. We'll be sharing the recordings from July, talking a little bit about some of our programs, and then getting into some Plymouth County and Plymouth Colony history. So let's go right to the numbers. You can see the bar chart on the screen, and you can see that the numbers in July were good. 747 deeds, up from the 719 in June, 7% more than last year's 696, and we're up about 5% year to date. There's still great difficulty in real estate, low inventory, high interest rates, just a lot of people that are not looking to move from their property, but we still have had some activity. The average sale price, which is another great difficulty because it continues to go up, was $746,381, and that is over a very diverse Plymouth County, from wealthy communities to more working class communities. You're going to see an image of all the sales of property from Abington down to Whitman. Every community has had sales, Plymouth and Brockton being the highest number of sales. And then you're going to see a bar chart for mortgages. Our mortgages have also gone up significantly. You can see that in the bar chart. 1,377 mortgages in July, more than the 1,234 in June, 12% more than last year, and year to date, 12%. We've followed foreclosures since the meltdown in 2008. We're not in that situation right now. There was a foreclosure moratorium during COVID, and the banks really haven't ramped it up after that. So this particular document, a foreclosure deed is usually when a lender takes the property back for failure to pay, loss of job, loss of income, and the numbers are very, very small. Only 4 foreclosure deeds throughout all of the 27 communities in Plymouth County for the month of July. Less than the 8 in June, and 64% less than last July, and down 28% year to date. And the next image you're going to see, bar chart you're going to see is of foreclosure notices. A foreclosure notice is the first document we see relative to properties at the Registry of Deeds that is showing us that you're in trouble paying your mortgage. So if you're having difficulty paying your mortgage, I strongly advise you as quickly as possible to reach out to a federal housing counselor and try to modify your loan. Maybe they can extend it. Maybe they could fight to lower a term. But clearly doing nothing is the worst thing to do. And a lot of people get scared or shy, and that is the worst possible thing that you can do if you want to continue to own your property. There were 32 foreclosure notices in July, more than the 26 in June, and year to date down 23. And you can see an image, again, of all 27 communities from Abington to Whitman alphabetically. And there are a lot of zeros on there. First column, foreclosure deeds. Second column, orders of notice. Again, you have to be vigilant if you want to own property. And if you are facing notices coming in, you've reached the foreclosure notice stage, reach out to a federal housing counselor like NeighborWorks, and they'll try to help you. We have this great program with NeighborWorks that we give them a copy of all of our foreclosure notices, and they send out a letter and respond to them. Again, the worst thing you can do is do nothing, and they can possibly help you. Be aware, a lot of people are concerned these days about fraud. We have on our website a free fraud alert that you can sign up for. If you go to our website, PlymouthDeeds.org, again, PlymouthDeeds.org, and go to the resources section on our website, you'll see a fraud alert. You click on that, and it'll take you through the process to provide an email. And if you don't have an email, I would suggest you try to use a family member or a close friend, because when something gets recorded against your property, you'll get an email. And it may be something that should be recorded, like a mortgage discharge or an agreement, but if it's not, it gives you notice to take a step forward and look and see what was recorded and protect yourself. Again, to be a property owner anywhere, you need to be vigilant. And there are a lot of people out there, because it's an asset, and for most people, it's your most valuable asset. People will try to take advantage of you. So with that, we're going to move on to some of our great Plymouth County history. So for the month of August, two holidays to remember. The 7th of August was National Lighthouse Day. And the 30th of August is National Beach Day. And we have some great lighthouses off the coast of Plymouth County, and also many great beaches. And although we're coming to the end of the summer, getting on the water, looking out at lighthouses, getting to the beach, we still have many weeks to go. So the first of our great Plymouth County stories is Hannah Thomas. Hannah Thomas was America's first female lighthouse keeper. So she was a keeper of North America's first twin lights, Plymouth Gurnet Lighthouse, known on Gurnet Point leading into Plymouth Harbor, was built originally in 1768. It was a wooden dwelling with a lantern, and it was owned by Hannah and John Thomas. John left and went off to fight in the Revolutionary War, and he was killed, unfortunately, during that war. So his wife, Hannah, took over that lighthouse and became America's first lighthouse keeper in 1776. The towns of Plymouth, Duxbury, and Kingston erected a fort on the Gurnet, and the lighthouse later was sold to the United States government. It's presently cared for by Project Gurnet and Bug Light. And those are two beautiful lighthouses. You ever get to see them from shore or from a boat. The next lighthouse of note, many people are familiar with, Scituate Lighthouse. Scituate Lighthouse is on Cedar Point in Scituate. Again, a very famous lighthouse. It was run by Simeon Bates, the first lighthouse keeper. However, in the summer of 1814, during the War of 1812, British frigates were approaching the town of Scituate. Well, many of the men were away fighting in that war. So Simeon Bates's two daughters, Rebecca and Abigail, rounded up who was left, and they brought a fife and drum and played them lively in the cedar trees that were still on that point, why it was called Cedar Point. The British troops thought they were coming upon a militia, and they beat a hasty retreat. The legend of the Army of Two is still talked about to this day. It is a lighthouse operated by the Scituate Historical Society in a beautiful spot to grab a supper and go sit at the entrance to the breakwater and watch the boats coming and go on a beautiful summer night. And the rumors are that over the years, there have been reports on windy nights with the sound of the wind, the waves crashing on the jetties, and the fog out there, that there are the sounds still of the fife and drum that saved the town of Scituate from being sacked from the British. And last but not least, from our famous lighthouses is Boston Light. It is located on Little Brewster Island in the town of Hull. It's America's oldest light station. For 300 years, Boston Light has shone across Boston Harbor. It's part of the Boston Harbor Island National Park. The 300th anniversary of the Hull was celebrated in the same year of the National Park Service celebrated its 100th anniversary. The first coastal light in North America. The original structure was destroyed in 1716. It was rebuilt. It has been operated by the Coast Guard since 1919 and is a National Historic Landmark and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So during Lighthouse Month, keep your eye out for lighthouses. There are other beautiful lighthouses around Plymouth County, some down in Buzzards Bay, Bird Island's Light, Ned's Lighthouse, and others. But we always tell the story of one of our Plymouth Colony records since we partnered with Plymouth 400 in 2020. Unfortunately, that year, it was a year of COVID, and a lot of our great stories didn't get told. But in this particular case, it is a record from 1681, and people don't realize that the original Plymouth Colony went far to the west, all the way to Bristol, Rhode Island. In this particular case, it is a decision by the colonial court to license a liquor establishment to draw beer, wine, storage, cider, provide lodging and entertainment of strangers. It was a colonial court that allowed that license, and it operated for many, many years. But our Plymouth County records are wonderful. Our Plymouth Colony records are fascinating. This particular document will be available at the Registry of Deeds at 50 Aubrey Street on the last Friday of the month. Please come visit us, and you can see it. There's nothing more fascinating than the original colonial documents in the handwriting of the colonists. From the original first deed, the original right to trial by jury, trial by jury, Miles Standish will, and documents like this that show the expansiveness of Plymouth Colony, that tell our great history. The roads we walk on and the paths we walk on every day tell an incredible history. A lot of the rest of our country have nothing to tell like our stories. So I want to thank the local scene for allowing me to share this information of our history, but particularly for what for most people is their most valuable asset, their home. Our primary job at the registry is to record documents and protect the title to your home, but we love talking about our history. So we'll see you next month. So have a great and happy Labor Day. Thank you.